Okay, here we are, quarter 2, week 3, day 4. We are finding the quotient. Guys, I worked it all out for you. Feel free to pause this and look at the different ones. Each number is color-coded, so the 6 goes with the numbers that have that same color, and the 2 goes with the number that has the same color, and so on. But the answer to this one is 624.619, and I guess you can put the 0 at the end of that. So 624.619 is the answer to this one. Okay, we have another find the quotient, and we'll work this one out together. Okay, so I rewrote it by moving the decimals over because we do not like having a decimal in the divisor. Okay, so we have 90. It's not a decimal. It is 90. All right, so let's see. How many times does 90 go into 6? It doesn't. Can 90 go into 61? Nope. Can 90 go into 613? Yes, that will actually go in 6 times. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 9 is 54. All right, so let's subtract that out. We have 3 minus 0 is 3. We can't take 4 away from 1, so we'll have to borrow here and make it 11. So we have 11 minus 4 equals 7. All right, and then we'll bring down the 1. Okay, so how many times does 90 go into 730? The answer to that would be 8. 8 times 0 again is 0. 8 times 9 is 72. Let's subtract that. 1 minus 0 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. 7 minus 7 is 0. So we can just leave it as it is. Bring down this 0 here. Well, this one's pretty easy. How many times would 90 go into 110? That would just be 1 time. So 1 times 90 is 90. And then we have 110 minus 90, and that would equal 20, of course. And then we'll bring down the 0. How many times will 90 go into 200? Well, that would go into it twice. Okay, 2 times 0 is 0. 9 times 2 is 18. Subtract that. 0 and 0. We have to borrow here. This will become 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. All right, and then bring down another 0. How many times will 90 go into 200? Again, 2 times again, minus 180, and that's going to give us 20 again. Then we'll add the 0. So what's going to happen is we're going to keep getting 2, 2, 2 forever and ever and ever. So if we were just to put this decimal up here, that will give us our answer. It's going to be 6.812. And then you can just kind of put a line over that too. And that'll give us our answer, 6.812 with a line over it. Or you can just round it because the next number after that is 2 also. So it just stays 6.812. Don't have to have a line over top of it. All right, that's how you answer that one. Okay, we have a blinky light question. So on a string of red and blue lights, the red lights blink every 3 seconds. Okay, so red is going to blink every 3 seconds. Okay, so let's go ahead and write red. Red. Okay, so they're going to blink at 3 seconds, and then after that, it's going to blink at 6 seconds, and then 9 seconds, and 12 seconds, and 15 seconds, and 18 seconds, and so on. Okay, so the red are going to blink that way, and then the blue, are going to blink every 5 seconds. So let's write blue. And they blink in 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Okay, so I can see here, guys, that every 15 seconds, the red and blue are going to blink at the same time. So we know that's what's going to happen every 15 seconds. So it says, how many times will they blink the same time in 1 minute? Well, 1 minute is 60 seconds. So how many times does 15 go into 60? Well, it is 4 times. So every 15 seconds, it'll blink, and then exactly 4 times in 1 minute, they will blink at the same time. So that's our answer. It'll blink 4 times within each minute because it's going to blink 15 seconds. Every 15 seconds, they're going to blink together. Okay, a box of 12 tacos cost $9.99. Well, that's not too bad. Okay, it's less than $1 a taco at that point. At that rate, how much does one taco cost? All right, so I set up a ratio. We want to get from 12 down to 1. So what do you have to do? Well, you have to divide by 12. Okay, so what are we going to have to do to find how much it is per one taco? Well, the same thing. Divide by 12. So we're going to have $9.99 divided by 12. Okay, so we'll look over here. How many times does 12 go into 9? Well, it can't. But how many times can 12 go into 99? Well, that would be 8 times. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. So we're going to subtract that. That's going to give us 3, bring down the 9. How many times does 3 go into 39? Well, that would be 3 times. 3 times 12 is 36. Okay, and then 39 minus 36 would be 3. Bring down to 0 if we want to. How many times does 12 go into 30? Just 2 times. So basically, if we bring up the decimal up here, it's going to be 0.83. Okay, so the answer to this one is how much would one taco cost? It would be 83 cents. There are 32 ounces of water in a glass. Someone drinks 55% of the water. Okay, they drink over half of the water. How many ounces of water is left? So we can find out what is 55% of 32 and then subtract that from the total amount, and that's how much water would be left. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Remember, 55% would be the same as 0.55 and the same as 55 over 100. Anytime you see percent, it is that same thing. So we're going to take that times 32. So we can do 55 over 100 times 32 over 1, or we could take 0.55 times 32. So let's just go ahead and do that. 0.55 times 32. All right, 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 5 is still 10, plus 1 more is 11. Put the little spacer there. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 5 is still 15, plus 1 more is 16. Then we add. So we have 0. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. And then 1. How many places do we have to move the decimal? There's 2 numbers to the right of the decimal, so let's bounce it over this way. So it's going to be $17.60. Okay, this is the 55% of the water that was drank. So then we're going to subtract that from 32. So I'll just write over the letters here. We got to subtract this out. Subtraction sign. So we have 0 here. And we have to borrow from this 2 to make this 0 a 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. Now we have to borrow from this 3, make it a 2, and this becomes 11. So 11 minus 7 is 4. And then 2 minus 1 is 1. So 14.4 is the answer. So 14.4 ounces of water is what is left. So that's how we get that answer. Okay, how many grams are there in 4.5 kilograms? Well, I wanted to tell you that 1 gram is equal to 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. So to get from 1 to 4.5, we're basically going to multiply by 4.5. Okay, so basically we're taking 4.5 times 1,000. Well, guys, if you remember your base 10 numbers, all you have to do when you're multiplying is you move it over however many zeros there are that you're multiplying by. Since there are 3 zeros, you would just move it over 3 places. So if we just have 4.5, which is what we have up above in kilograms, we would just move it over 1, 2, 3 places, which means we'd have to add the zeros there. So the answer would be 4,500 grams. Okay, so 4.5 kilograms would be 4,500 grams. Okay, it says write an expression that equals 40, which should be pretty easy. Like, what if you did 20 plus 20? That'd equal 40. Or 30 plus 10, that would equal 40. Or 4 times 10, that would equal 40. So those are all expressions, okay, that equals 40. But we have to include an exponent. So I came up with a few. Okay, so I'm going to start off with 5 squared times 2. 5 squared times 2. Well, and then 5 squared is 25 times 2, which is 50. Then I'd have to subtract 10 from that, and that would give me 40. So that's one thing you could do. Or what if you did 6 squared? 6 times 6 is 36 plus 4 more. That would give you 40. Or 3 to the third power. 3 to the third power is 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And then we'd have to add 13 to that to get to 40. So here's 1, 2, 3 possible examples, and there's a ton more. As long as you have something that has the exponent in it, it fulfills what they're trying to ask here, is to include an exponent. All right, that's all there is for that one. To download movies off the internet, you must pay $1.99 per movie, plus then a one-time fee. Okay, so this is only one time. Write an expression that shows how the total cost to download X movies. All right, they're not telling us how many movies. They're saying that it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3. So that's the unknown. But we know that basically every single time you get a movie, okay, you will have to pay $1.99. So it's going to be X times $1.99. Okay, so X times $1.99. So those are in the parentheses first. So X times $1.99. And then we do have a one-time fee of $5.50. Okay, so if we were trying to write an expression, I think we just did it. Okay, we have X times $1.99. So if there's one movie, 1 times $1.99. If you buy, or if you read 10 movies, 10 times $1.99, and then your one-time fee of $5.50. So that's definitely the expression that would show exactly how much you would have to pay if you were to download a movie. There it is. Find the volume of the cube using the formula below. Well, we know when you find volume, it is length times width times height, but they went ahead and showed us that. Length times width times height. And since it is a cube, the length, the width, and the height is the same. So it's going to be 3.4 times 3.4 times 3.4. Okay, so let's go ahead and multiply that. So we have 3.4 times 3.4. Okay, 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. 3 times 4, put the X here. So 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 more is 10. And then we'll add these together. So for the first one, we have 6, 3 and 5. There, 3 and 2 is 5. And 1 and 1. Move the decimal over 2 places because that's right there and there. So it's 1156. Okay, then we take the 11.56, bring it over here. 11.56 times 3.4 one more time gives us all of this. We have 39304. Move the decimal point over 3 places. So the answer is 39.304. So that's our answer for this one. 39.304.